Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me, not as always, is Emma. Because Beth's not here. Because Beth, you know what Beth is doing?
What's she doing?
She's doing what all traditional Canadian people are doing right now. She's being the ultimate hockey mom and going from game to game with two different kids in different venues, in different places, logging tons of kilometers and in frozen arenas, screaming at referees, I assume.
Amazing.
Yeah. So she's got real life going on. So we hadn't talked in forever, and I was dying to talk to you about Athx because a couple things. One, we hear rumors of them coming to the States, and then well, it just interests me and has from day one. And then when you went over there to work with them, that just meant they were legitimate. Before, nobody cared.
Thanks, Dave.
So briefly,
Yeah.
because a lot of people who will listen to this will have no idea what the hell Athx is. So
Okay.
lay it out basically what it is.
Well, first of all, Athx, because I'm sure everybody wants to know this, what it stands for, is actually Athlete X. It's really simple. Athx. And how it all originated, a lot of people on your podcast won't have heard of this, but National Fitness Games in the UK was the first functional fitness competition outside of CrossFit.
I
And
think I
that was
remember hearing you talk about that in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I've got my little badge.
There you
Even
go.
got my badge on my wall. So um, yeah, and it was a brilliant competition that was around functional fitness, and it hadn't got the skill base that CrossFit has got. So none of the gymnastics or Olympic lifting, just basic lifts, and but still in a kind of CrossFit format where you turn up in teams or mixed same-sex threes or pairs or whatever the format was for that particular competition. It was different every single time. And you turn up and you do one workout, then you'd perhaps have a 2 hour break, and then you'd do another workout. And there'd be different times, it might be running late, all that kind of stuff. You know what happens at these kind of competitions. And that was really successful during its time, founded by Mark Morgan, who is also the founder of Athx. And as he was developing national fitness games, then in came turf games. Post COVID, in came High Rocks, as we know, in 2021 in the UK when they could run live events. And the production level of things went up. So NFG was mostly outdoors, different workouts every single time, different concept every single time, because it could be a pairs comp, an individual comp, different divisions, elite and everyday, intermediate, those kind of things. So it was a different comp requiring different equipment every time and different programming. And then when turf games came in, which was similar to national fitness games but higher production level, then High Rocks came in with the same format every single time, high level production, mass participation, movements that everybody could do. Mark then looked at it at National Fitness Games and thought, we need to change the concept. What we're doing is great, but what we need to do is find a way to evolve what we've always done and take what our learnings are and experience in this industry and in the event space and produce something that everybody wants, but also is a fair test of fitness. And so he got together with Ollie Marchon, and they co-founded Athx, which is three separate workouts combined into one event. You have the warm up at the start, which is mandatory. You can't miss the workout. Your start time is the workout. And then you move into a strength format, which is the actual workouts change every year. They're the same for 1 year, but they change every year. So for this next year, 2026, it's a 1 rep max strict press, a 3 rep max back squat and 5 rep max deadlift. Had to think which way they went round. After you finish that, you then go into what we call a refuel zone. So everybody in that heat, and there are 40 lanes, some in doubles, some in individual. They then move off the floor into refuel, and the people that were in warm up move into strength. It's like a
Yeah.
stage format, and they come off refuel 10 minutes later and they move into endurance. And if you're in pairs, it's a row run format this year, well, next year, 2026, for the endurance, where in whichever division you're in, you're running a different distance. So if you're in light, you're running 500 meters. If you're in open or Athx standard, you're running 750 meters. And if you're in pro, you're doing 1,000 meters. So if me and you were doing endurance, Dave, you'd start on the row, let's say, I'd go and run 750 meters because we're doing Athx standard. And then when I get back from my 750 meters, we swap over, I row, you run, and you carry on going like that for 24 minutes. And so the score for that is meters. So the strategy is knowing your partner and how quickly they're going to run that 750 meters so you know how to pace yourself on the rower because you've got to get as many meters as possible, but you've also then got to run 750 meters yourself. And the faster you go, the more meters you're doing. Um,
And this is
so
like
that's it.
this is like a set time, right?
Yes, yeah. And then you come off endurance at the end of that 24 minutes and you go into recovery for 30 minutes. So everybody has the same amount of recovery. And then you move on to Metcon. And the Metcon is a ladder up and back, starting with a 60 cal ski erg, and then a combination of other different movements like snatch, different standards for different divisions. There's some sandbag lunges in there, there's burpees in there, burpee broad jumps, which we'll get to in a second, actually, the burpee broad jumps. And what else is there? So you go from the ski up the ladder and then you come back down again and you finish on the ski at 60 cals. And the burpee broad jumps, we're implementing your recommendation to be able to measure and make it consistent with the judging, so that we know exactly where people as a competitor know exactly where to put their hands, 30 centimeter boxes. So you land in the box, you put the hands in the box that you land in, and that all came from you.
Yeah, which is really cool. That's great. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it.
And you're in lanes. So when you register, you get given a number as part of your registration, and you stay in that same lane. That number is relates to the lane that you're in throughout the whole heat. You choose your heat, you choose the time that you start your race. Um, there's pro heats, there's standard heats, and there's light heats. But within those different heats, you could have mixed doubles, same-sex doubles, and then there's individual heats as well. So if you're an individual, you're competing against everybody else in individual, whether that's light, standard, or pro. If you're in doubles, you're in pairs, then you're competing against other pairs that are either mixed or same sex, but you're in the lane and you stay in that lane for the whole time. You rejoin as you come off the floor, you rejoin it. And the whole format was based on the fact that everybody does the same workout with the same amount of recovery, the same breaks in between. So it's a fair measure and a mixed modality of strength, endurance, and metabolic conditioning.
I really like the leaderboard. They have a good leaderboard. See if I can call it up here really quick so that we can look at it. Do. We'll just share that. Okay. So this is a leaderboard. What I like is it's really easy to use. It's all right there. As you can see, I was looking at male 50 to 54.
Checking out the competition.
That's right. Trying to, hey, that's what I do. Right. So if I'm looking, let's go. Now, you guys just had a world championship, right? Or a
Uh,
championship.
yeah, the finals. Yeah.
And where was that at? That was,
Um, that was in Birmingham at the NEC. So if you go all the way down, no, that was the Birmingham event in August. If you go down to the Athx finals, down,
oh, there it
um,
is. Okay.
yeah,
There was none of me there, but that's okay. I'm not interested in me at the moment.
was that's individuals, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you have a look at if you go to the team leaderboard, um,
Category. Oh, that's pro.
that's the
Oh,
category.
sorry. I'm on the
Yeah. So
individual leaderboard.
you
All
go
right.
to results, and then team leaderboard.
And then we'll go down to finals.
Yeah, the male or mixed if you wanted to compare you and Rye.
There you go. Yeah, let's look for that. See how what we'd have to do. So this was a different workout too, and we'd be going Athx, I assume, not Athx Pro. Um, so now 348 kilograms. So what was the workout for last year?
So that was a 10 rep max strict press, which
Mm,
caught a lot of people out, really caught a lot of people out. 10 rep max strict press, and for this one, not pro,
mhm,
and then a 5 rep max back squat. So there was two components to this strength element in
mhm.
Athx standard. If you were doing pro, you would do a 1 rep max weighted push up,
Weighted
weighted
push-up
pull
or
up,
pull-up?
sorry, weighted pull up. Yeah, that'd
Ooh,
be the addition for the pro.
I would have liked that.
And on the leaderboard, if
Ah,
you
Chandler
can,
and Jesse Smith.
yeah, yeah, they absolutely smashed it. Um, if you on the leaderboard in the results, you can actually then break it down into um what each person in each team lifted or ran or
Okay.
skied
So you got to
or
go to
what.
team
Right.
individual leaderboard.
Yeah, yeah. So you can then, if you then went to strength, for example, so if you go to mixed division,
Event finals.
and let's look at Chandler, go to, yeah, male,
Male
and then category Athlex Pro.
and their strength. So Chandler.
Yeah. So that would give you his breakdown of what he did for his pull-up, what he did for his
Ooh.
back squat, and what he did for his strict press. And
Three reps at 53 kilograms.
yeah,
Oh man, that's a ton. That's 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 better than my one rep. Like much better, I think. I think my one rep. I'm trying to think what would be kilograms was 100 pounds. So that's probably something like 40 something kilograms. Wow,
wow.
that's impressive. And then
That's nearly a Beth. That's nearly Beth that he's pulling
yeah,
up on the 3 rep max.
yeah, and so that's one of the things I'm actually disappointed I didn't get to go this one because I think that one would have been a good strength for me to pull off the weighted pull-ups. It's something it's the only thing I ever really chase a one rep max at. Everything else I don't bother, but that one I like. But yeah, just seeing some of these like, oh, I get 55 kilograms.
Yeah,
That's crazy. All right. So anyway, yeah, leaderboard is awesome. Mhm. And like I think here's the thing every time we talk about one of these races, right? I always go back to, I think this was like a third episode where we had Erock and Mintra and Flo on. And we talked about differences with CrossFit and High Rocks and all this stuff and trying to find the best or the fittest person. I've always thought that CrossFit's claim to whoever wins the games is the fittest person on earth. I've never agreed with that. Now, could it be like could Tia to me possibly be the fittest person on earth? Yes, absolutely. That could be accurate. But not necessarily because of what she did at the CrossFit Games, because there's such high skill level component to it. So
yeah,
I've always wondered, and then I think about stuff like decathlon and again, so much skill. What is the best gauge or way or closest thing to finding out who the fittest? And I actually think right now that this might be the closest. The only thing kind of missing is that long endurance thing.
yeah,
But otherwise, like you've got your strength, you've got your Metcon, you've like it's very low skill.
yeah. Really low skill. And you have to train to be able to do those that the lifting and the strength and stuff. So you've got to be strong to have achieve some of those numbers that are on there. But equally, you could be at the other end of the spectrum and be somebody that's just lifting a barbell on the 10 rep max strict press. But because you're so good at endurance and you can get through the Metcon in quite a fast time, then you're still going to score really, really well. You probably won't win, but you're still going to have a great time. So you've got the inclusivity level at the bottom where anybody can start at whatever level they're at, whether their strength is in endurance or whether it's in strength and they train their engine more, or whether you've got people like Chandler and Jesse or Lars from Germany, or some of the other people that have got a real overall all-round fitness level where they're strong, they have got endurance, and they can move fast on a metabolic conditioning workout. I
You know,
think
that
we
was the only
change every year, so um, the workouts change every year. So I think this. every single year there's got to be some real consideration for making sure that the right kind of movements are tested in strength. We don't have that long piece of endurance, but we test it adequately to test somebody's level of fitness, engine fitness. And then the metabolic conditioning has to have the right movement components in it to be able to properly test metabolic conditioning without having a real heavy, a real high level of skill. So changing it every year means we have to be very considered in our approach to the movements that we put in there.
Yeah, because like you said, everything. So in the weightlifting, because and yeah, again, I'm going to put that up on the screen too. But if we look at the actual event, right? 2026 workout. All right. So, and then we talked about this on Matt's podcast, and I kept trying to explain to him there can't be a light division to a max rep scenario. It's just the max rep, or the max weight, right? So you might be in a different division, but it's not doesn't change the workout. So then you have your runs where you say your runs are smaller for the lighter divisions, which is I don't know that that makes a. Do you find that makes a ton of difference?
No, not a ton of difference, but where you've got strength athletes that they know that the endurance element, or you've got injured people, like people,
Mm.
for example, people like me, who someone like me is waiting for a knee replacement. I shouldn't be running, but I could do Athx because I can run. I just can't walk very well afterwards.
Mhm.
Um, so as long as I can hold on for that metabolic conditioning, it means I can still compete and I can still have my fitness tested in some way. Um, and I'll do Athx open, not light, because I enjoy the lifting element of it. So it's just the running for me. So only having to do the 750 as opposed to, no, it doesn't sound a lot more, 250 meters, but that's quite a lot of pounding on my knee.
Mhm.
So for each time you go around, you drop in 250 meters compared to the pro division. It actually means I can get through it and get to the metabolic conditioning without any massive impact on my knee.
All right, and then the Metcon. Now this is the only thing with set weights.
Yeah, and then lighter for the light division and the open. The open's slightly heavier than light, and then the pros are obviously quite a jump up. But with this though, Dave, the workouts for next year are planned from the April of the
Mhm.
current year.
Okay.
So the workouts that you're seeing now would have been in process from April of last year, probably down to quite a lot of feedback and stuff and how things were ran on the floor back in London in January, for example. Um, and then once they've been devised, now the affiliate program has started. Previously, they were tested with trusted gyms, gyms that
Hmm.
came but quite a lot of people. Now what we're doing is we're testing them with the affiliate program gyms and the regional hubs, and they're taking the workouts and bringing together a group that's representative of the type of people that we would get entering Athx and getting them to test the workouts. Then we make the changes, then we test them again to another group of people. So by the time they actually get announced for the following year, they've been tested so thoroughly to make sure that it is a test and it's not unachievable for the division that we've put it in. And but also in terms of judging, how can we judge it? What do we need to do to make sure that the consistency of judging across these workouts is not easy, but it can be done consistently and fairly. And how do we manage that?
Yeah. Well, we all know like judging is key for these things, especially this because this is one-on-one judging, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like where you see high rocks and some of the things on deck, you can have one judge watching a whole area. But this, yeah, you got to have, this isn't like CrossFit that way. You got to have solid judging, one-on-one and good consistency. But yeah, it's just, I'm going to read what the workout was. This was last year or whatever, so people can see. So this one started with 60, this is for teams, 60 single arm alternating ground to overhead. That's one of my favorite moves. I love that. Um,
this
when you're
is
doing,
this year. This is this year,
this is
Dave.
this year? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
2026, sorry. This is the 2026 workout.
All right, perfect. Okay, well, even better. So,
And it should start with a 60 cal ski,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah, yeah,
So 60 cal ski into the, and again, split up the ski however you like for teams,
yeah.
into the single arm ground overhead. And I noticed you didn't call it a snatch. And
No,
I'm thinking the reason being on that is because even if you do like a clean and press, that's okay.
yes, but not for the pro. The pro is different.
Pro has to be a
Yeah.
snatch.
Yeah, so this is light and open. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And and we're looking at weights here. So for the regular Athx men 20 kg, which I believe is probably 45 poundish, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the women 12.5, what would that be in pounds? Roughly 30?
Um, t- 25, would it?
Break out the calculator. It's 2.2.
Yeah, so maybe 30. Yeah, £30.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with this pound system.
Well, I mean, they might use, so it kind of falls right in the middle. It's 27 and a half. So maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're going lighter and using the 25s or maybe they're using the 30s. I'm not sure. But either you guys have kgs on your weight, right? So like
Yeah,
kg dumbbell. So if you're a pound person, practice with the 30.
yeah.
Um, 50 kg sandberry cake. That's a heavy bag for people like just getting that. Is it in front? Is it on the shoulder?
I should know this because we've just gone through all the movement standards. I think it can be carried either way.
Okay, it does have it. Like you guys even have the movement standards here, which is again is great. So we'll take a look at that after. But and in box jumps, 2 feet on top, double foot takeoff. All right.
Yeah. And if you're in teams, if me and you're in teams, the side that you stop jumping on when you jump down is the side I have to start from. So
No
you couldn't
chasing.
do one, one, one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we've dealt with that in the DECA before, having to tell people no, that's not a deal. Um, Dual dumbbell walking lunges. Is that like you hold the dumbbells in a suitcase position, or can you hold them in a rack? Or
So in a suitcase position for light and standard, and then for pro, it's dual front rack.
okay, then 60-meter burpee broad jump with incredible rules. Well, that's fabulous. Another 60, and then finish with the 60 cal ski,
Yeah,
and you have a 25-minute time cap.
yeah.
Have you done this one yet?
I did the first testing, which wasn't quite this one.
Okay,
So I was part of the first test group. If you're in the first test group, you're not in the second test group.
all right. Did you get capped?
No,
Not a girl.
I
All right, so
didn't get capped. I think it was about 18. I think it was 18, nearer to 19, but it was 18 something.
nice. All right. So the movement standards here, again, this is really nice. You got videos, you've got write-ups. It's really well done.
And actually, there's going to be some additions to these because when we all met as a team at the end of November, we went through every single movement. So we have a lot, some of our judges, our head judges, have judged at the CrossFit Games, at Rogue Invitational. They've just head judge at High Rocks, various turf games. So they're really experienced judges. So what we did was we went through everything step by step and looked at everything. What does it say on the website versus what are we seeing in front of us and how
Mm.
does an athlete understand it? So we have actually got some additions and amendments to go into here to make it easier for people to understand.
So I'm looking at, so I reading the sandbag carry, right? So this is a rule write-up. It is very simplistic, but it's nice. Bag taken from the ground, any method of getting the bag to a bear hug or the shoulder, so you can do either. Pairs may not assist each other in lifting the bag. I'm sure many people would have tried that. Both feet entirely behind the line. Athlete must carry the bag out and back. Both feet must pass clearly to the designated turn area. If the bag is dropped before the designated line, it may be picked up and resumed back. So this, at no point you got to pick down and repick it, right? It's do your run back and forth, right?
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I like the drop it and repick it. I'm a fan of that one. Uh, bag drop for the yeah. Pairs cannot pass the bag back and forth. Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Like these rules, and then the videos accompanying it is perfect. It's really well done. And that's something that I know, like Cheryl will appreciate the cleanness and the presentation. Especially like the event. The event looks cool.
Yeah, it is honestly an athlete experience for everybody, regardless of if you're doing your first one, you've never done a comp before, you don't feel like you should be there. It's still from the registration point. all the way through, you're made to feel like you are special. And you've got your own lane. You are taken through like an athlete and led onto the floor in a line. Everybody lines up in order. It's honestly, it is really lovely to watch because you see people thinking, God, yeah, we're going to our lane. This is our lane. This is our athlete lane. And a lot of I was talking to Jay, from Deadly Dozen the other
Yep.
week because his Institute of Fitness Racing is actually going to be Athx affiliated as well. Takes a
Affiliating
little,
with everything, everything.
yeah, and it takes a little while for us because we go through a whole load of documentation checking and stuff. Um, so he will announce that very soon. And what he was saying to me was because he's yet to do an Athx. He loves doing everything, doesn't he?
Mhm.
And he's yet to do an Athx. So we were talking about when he's going to do it. And he said to me, you know what, Emma? All I hear about Athx is what a great experience it is, regardless of where people come and what their
Yeah.
score is and what a great experience they've had. And that is really important to us because if people get to the event and they don't know the movement standards, or they haven't been trained properly in the movement standards, or they can't read it on the website, or it's not clear. They get there, they get no rep, and it's a really demoralizing situation because you go in there thinking that you've trained really hard, you're going to have this great experience, but you're getting no reps and you don't understand why. So the whole thing is about making sure everybody knows what's expected of them on the floor, even to the point when they come out of warm up, it's explained to them exactly what they're going to be doing in strength and what the standards are. Then the judges explain it to them again and what they're expecting and give demonstrations. They go off into refuel, come back into endurance. They then go to recovery and come on to Metcon. But before they leave the recovery area and come on to Metcon, they have another judge on a microphone telling them exactly what's expected of them in the Metcon area. And the judge reiterates it again. So there's always enough time allocated to be able to explain and reiterate every single movement standard. It just means people have a better time because they know they've met the standards and not got no reps.
If I'm doing so I do the strength and then I go to the recovery and then I head to the run, am I getting the same judge or will it be a different judge for that?
Different judges. So we've got different head judges on each different zone. And then under the head judges, we've then got the judge for each lane.
So I'm actually okay with that. The reason I like that is because when you're training judges, the less you have to train the judge on, the more dialed in they're going to be. So if you only have to train your judges on what to hit for what to watch for the lifts, as opposed to how to work the run and how to work the metcon, they're going to be more dialed in on those lifts. So I like the way that's done. That's not always possible with a lot of these other events,
No.
but for that, I think that's fantastic. Um, when you guys come to the States, you will have to deal with that transition on weights because it'll be
Yeah.
harder to get the weights that you need exactly. So it'll have to be a little bit different for that metcon. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The biggest thing is getting to the States. So,
Yeah, yeah. But I do like, again, you can train for this with just about anything anywhere. Like it's all in your gym.
yeah, and also I think if you're training for Athx and you've got all these different components, the mixed modality, you're also if you're training for that, you can then transfer that over to the sports field in hockey, football, rugby, um, to triathlon. This you're building your engine, you're training your strength in the key components of lifting, and you're doing metabolic conditioning. It doesn't have to be just Athlex you're training for. You're priming yourself for other things as well. And even to do, we have some CrossFit athletes that have stopped doing CrossFit because of injury, maybe a rotator cuff, so they can't do handstand push-ups, but they're still really fit and they can do the stuff in Athlex. If you're training Athlex, you're still staying fit for anything else you might want to do. You could train Athlex and still get a good time at High Rocks
Yeah.
because you're not overtraining some of the movement standards in High Rocks, like 300 wall ball ladder or something. you know? But yeah, I think it's transferable to so many different things and it makes it um, accessible to people, but also makes them better at whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah, well, basically, if anyone was to ask how you train for it, you just go to the gym and lift like you would normally,
Yeah,
and then add cardio.
yeah.
Like you could do. It's not complicated, right? I'm no, I'm stoked about it. I'm excited about it. It's definitely on my hit list as soon as it can get here. I know I should get across the pond and go for one there, but oh my God, I'm so freaking busy. Like, man,
Well, I do keep inviting you over to the UK, Dave.
everybody does, man. It's been so, people are so nice. And it was like, oh, you got a place to stay and all this. And like, I just don't have time. Like,
I know.
like, I think this year for DECA alone, it was probably 12 trips to the States for me,
Oh, wow.
to different events. And then, of course, there's other events I want to do as well, right? Like, and then those are extra trips. Like, I'm gonna be more than one a month. And it's, to get time is, I have a real job,
Yeah.
so it gets difficult. But yeah, I'd love to. I've never been overseas. Never.
Really, just traveled to America and back to Canada and
Yeah, and down to like some of the, some of the tropics and stuff like that, right? Like Jamaica and Costa Rica and stuff like that, but never out of the Western Hemisphere.
you don't know what you're missing in Europe. Dave,
Oh no, I know it's fantastic.
yeah, you would love Germany. In terms of athletes, you would love Germany. They are absolute machines. And just as an example, when we took Athx to Berlin, we have this thing in the UK where people are quite reserved and they'll enter something, but they'll enter lower maybe than what they think they should be. So you'll get a lot of people entering standard who perhaps should be doing pro. You
Hmm.
know, in Germany, the women, individual women were like, get me in that pro wave. And 20 of the qualified for the finals individual women, so there's 20 qualifying spaces, eight of them were German females. They're absolute machines. And so you would love it in Germany for fitness competitions and the athlete
But
environment.
and I could go to the Nürburgring and sneak in a few laps there. So
But
that's
you
for me.
could,
Okay, so has this been a problem for you guys? Because immediately when I thought about it, and you just mentioned a bit of it there, sandbagging. And I don't know if you're familiar with the term sandbagging, but it's basically when someone should be in pro and maybe
oh,
coming in the top 10, right? Which would be amazing, but they decide, no, I want to drop down so I can basically hoard a podium when it's really where they shouldn't be. I know RX1, which we've done for years here, and again, I still say is the grandfather of all these events. They were the first ones that I know to do it. They deal with it a lot. It's a problem for them, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. It is. It is a problem for them. Has that come up with you guys yet, or it-
I know of a few. I
yeah,
know of a few of the athletes that I know that I'm thinking, what are you doing in open?
yeah.
Why are you in open? You should be in pro. Um, but it's almost sometimes it's a confidence thing, isn't it? It isn't
Oh,
always about somebody wanting to get a podium in a lower division. It's perhaps because we're new or we were new a couple of years ago, people wanting to come in, experience it, try it at standard, but then you do see them move up to pro. Or maybe they've got a slight injury, or you never really know people's circumstances, but there have been a few people where I've thought, no, you absolutely should be in pro. And I have spoken to them and said, what are you doing? Doing open? You know, oh yeah, but I want it. Yeah, well, that's not the point, is it? Compete against the people that are in should be your division. I would always much rather be last in a really good class field and really have to work hard than to be top of a small group of um well in a division that I shouldn't be in. I'd rather be bottom of a much higher level group.
yeah. Like one of my proudest accomplishments was I came 33rd at OCRWC Pro Wave in the 3K, and I'm like, I'm absolutely stoked about that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pet peeve of mine. Don't sandbag people. You're just being a dick.
Yeah. I also think it is a level of confidence in,
Mhm.
particularly in the UK people. Um, they've got to try it, feel it, touch it, experience
Time is
it.
understandable. One
Yeah,
time, you don't know where you fit, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's when you're going back the sixth and seventh time to,
yeah, to win.
yeah.
But we have lots of data now, so people can see that data online and they can see the kind of numbers that everybody's getting. You can look at that and think to yourself, oh, that's where I fit. You know where you fit, don't you?
That's actually an interesting thing you could put on the website, and that is something that RX1 does, is they have their divisions and then they'll have the movements and roughly what the weight like for example, your deadlift weight should be for that division. So
Yeah.
that would be an interesting thing. I don't know if they could put to could bring that in there, but just like not a rule, just a guideline. And that's what theirs is.
Yeah.
It's just a guideline. But
Yeah.
that might help because I mean, even me, like going in there, I don't do I go open? Do I go Athx? Do I, some cases, even some part of it, do I do pro? I don't know. So I mean, a guideline like that would be really cool.
Yeah, and in this year's workouts and the previous 2 years workouts, where in the strength, the strict so I think it's 1 rep max weighted pull up in the first year, 2 rep max, and then 3 rep max this year. So that weighted pull up for a lot of people, some people can't, they can do a deadlift or a back squat or a front squat, which has been different movements over the years. But they can do those at high level, but they can't pull their own weight. They can't pull up their own weight at all.
Hmm.
Um, so that's put a lot of people off doing pro. Um, so I think moving into next year, we may see more people moving out of standard into pro because that 1 rep max weighted pull up or 3 rep max weighted pull up isn't in there in the pro division,
Hmm. I see what you mean, which is disappointing.
particularly for the women.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. And so what did you do like for that? Well, how did you score that if someone couldn't do, or let's just say they could only do body weight? What did they get for a score on that?
If they did body weight, they hadn't done an
Okay.
actual weighted pull up.
So they need to throw in like a 2.5 or
Yeah,
like a 1
yeah,
kg.
or a 0.5. Yeah, it's got to be something. They've got to have the belt round them, and they've got to have a weight that they lift in addition to their own body weight.
I like it.
Um, but then this year with the 10 rep max strict press, that's been a massive game changer because what we were seeing in London, which was in January earlier this year, before people had really worked out how to do these workouts for this year,
Mhm.
it's the first time of competing in it, you'd see a lot of heavy lifters going in with the ego lift to begin with. They'd get to eight reps, and then as they got weaker during that process of the 10 reps, their arms would start to shake a bit, and then they might not straighten out, and then they get a no rep, or they didn't do a dead stop before they went to the next
Did a
move,
little
the next
push.
lift. Yeah. Um, and then they get a no rep. And then once people started getting no reps, they then started getting a lot weaker and they'd have to put it on rep 9, they'd have to put it down.
Yep.
And so then they'd take a bit of weight off, not enough weight, because they'd already done 8 or 9 or 10 and been no rep for some of them. And they don't take a little bit off. And it's a very small muscle, isn't it? Once it's burnt out, it's burnt out. So they take a small weight off, thinking this is nowhere near my PB, but I want to get this weight. They'd get to rep 7, rep 8, they'd start no repping again. They'd have to put it down. And then they get to the stage where they couldn't even lift the bar within the time limit that was given.
Nah, yeah.
Because,
So you
yeah,
gotta get that security lift in first.
yeah, yeah. But because people maybe that were in the strength element and thinking they could do these big lifts on a 10 rep max strict press, maybe can put above their head normally in a clean and jerk or something, much heavier weight, but then they don't necessarily train the strict press as much. And the judging on it was so tight,
Mhm.
no movement whatsoever. It was a dead stop. The only things moving are your arms. Um, it was unaccustomed to them because they were so used to putting it above their head in a heavy lift, doing a different technique.
I would
Um,
imagine there was a ton of no reps on that.
Honestly, so many. And you saw regularly one arm going up and the other one just dead because you're stronger on one side than the other, aren't you, in a lot of cases?
That
Yeah. So people that would do really well at strength, some of them were coming off the floor in strength in London, having scored a 0 for strict press, which then had a massive impact on their whole strength score.
that's great. No, I really like I love the setup. I think the setup's cool. No, you had no live stream though, friend. That's one thing I will like. I haven't seen a lot of media or footage, or I know there's no live stream from your finals, and I think that was a bit of a miss, which kind of sucks because it looks like it was entertaining. Like I said, I watched a little bit of Chandler Smith's own personal video there. By the way, he showed the best way to deal with a no rep in that video. He got a no rep on his third pull up, which I think he was going for even probably 55 kg, and just kind of like he got a no rep. It was questionable, and he just kind of went. Okay. That was it. That was it. That's all you do, right? Yeah. You can't make a big scene. It is what it is, right? You're not going to argue your way out of it. So,
Well, there's no point wasting your energy, is there? Because
No.
you've got a very short period of time. It's either the judge has decided it's a no rep based on the movement standards, you suck it up and you get on and try again,
Yeah.
or you think, okay, I'm done, and you carry on to the next movement within the next time frame and do as well as you can in there to try and make up the deficit.
So you did the testing for this one. Did you do, you've done a full event before?
And no, I've not done a full event
Oh,
because
I wanted to look up
previously,
your scores.
no, so I have worked. Obviously, I was with my zone prior to working for Athx, and we've always been a partner with NFG back in the day. And then, as Athx evolved, was heavily involved with all of that. So there at the launch for Athx, I've been there. I've been at every single event bar Dublin, but I've always been working, always. And the one time that I was supposed to do it in Liverpool this year, Gail, my partner, was ill. So I got a phone call on the Saturday morning saying, Emma, I'm not going to make it. I've got really bad sickness bug. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing it with anyone else because I've trained with Gail. Um, I'm waiting. My first one is with Gail. So yeah, I've still not done an actual event. I've done many sims of all the different workouts every single year. Lots of training for it, but never actually been able to step out like a an Athx competitor, Athlete X on the games floor. So
All right. So what was the numbers? What were the ones you simmed? I want to know, did you get
Um,
what would you, yeah, let's go last year. Did you with the weighted pull-ups and stuff?
oh, we didn't do pro, Dave. We were
Oh,
doing
okay, okay. So,
standards.
okay, we got
Yeah.
two standards. So what's standard?
We were doing standard. Because don't forget, we are old.
I'm old.
Gail's sitting the 100 and 109, no, 100 to 109 age category because it's with Athlex, it's age combined. So it makes you look like you're over 100, but it's
Those are
actually
those are
a sum
small
of both our
individuals too.
ages. Yeah, it's a sum of both our ages. Um, so I think we might have to go back onto the screen to just have a look at
All right,
and
let's
go
do
through
it.
it so it reminds me.
All right.
So please remember that both Gail and I are broken and we are only doing this for fun. We are not athletes.
Okay, so we're going to results.
No, onto the because we're not on there on results.
Okay,
If
what do you want
we
to
go
do?
to the workouts. Oh no, 2025 workouts, I think.
25s are gone.
Oh, okay. Right, so that I've got to remember this. So the 10 rep max strict press,
Hmm.
Gail can do 32 on that.
Okay.
Gail's strong. I can only do 25. That's my absolute max on the
Okay.
strict press, the 10 rep max. Sometimes I'll get 25, other times it'll be fractionally less. Um, in as a disclaimer, I have got a pin in my arm, so I find it very, very difficult to straighten. So putting my arm up straight and meeting the movement standards is difficult because it naturally bends where the pin is on my elbow.
There you go. So and that was for the 10 rep. And then what else was there? There was a squat and a deadlift.
No, there wasn't a deadlift in 2025. It was just the back squat, the 5 rep max back squat, and I can do 70, 72 and a half, sometimes 75.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, I've got strong quads from the hockey days, Dave.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not outstanding, but it's not at the bottom end of the pile either.
I'm with you. I am super quad dominant to the point where, and I'm promised myself I'm going to work on this year. My quads are so tight, I can't like bend my legs. Like I can't touch my butt with my heels.
Gosh,
I just, yeah, you know how people sit on their knees and then sit on their
yeah,
heels? I cannot do that. I can't even come close.
no,
I,
I can't. On my left, I can. On my right, I can't. Where the bone deterioration is.
oh, mine's
And so,
so stiff.
yeah, I really have to focus on getting below parallel when you get the heavier weights on the back squat. In fact, I find the front squat easier than the back squat.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
I'm not too bad for that. Let's just see what your guys' division. would look like. So regular Athx, right?
Yeah. So Emma Wright and Michelle Kenny, um, they are absolute machines, those two girls. They won the finals. Have you got, is it the finals results that you've got up?
Oh,
Oh
that's
no,
just for the year. That's for the year, and they got the top two spots.
yeah. Yeah, and they won the finals as well. Um, Michelle's based out of JJK Gym, down in the south of England. They're a huge high rocks facility. They're also a CrossFit gym. She's strong and she's got a really great endurance engine, and she can also push through those. The worst thing in the metabolic conditioning element of 2025 is the dual dumbbell thrusters, 12.5 kg.
Oh, see, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of. I actually did dumbbell thrusters yesterday in my workout. I love dumbbell thrusters.
I mean, I do enjoy a dual dumbbell thruster, but when you've done the strength and then you've gone into the endurance, and then you go into, so you've got the bike and the run in the 2025 workouts, which is almost like the Cooper run, Cooper test.
Hmm.
By the time you get to the Metcon, you've already really hammered your posterior chain, and then you've got to do between you these 40 dual dumbbell thrusters. You've had the 10 rep max strict press, and then there you are with dual 12.5 kgs. It's a great workout. It's a really, really good workout, but it is brutal. And then you go out of those thrusters into the synchro burpees. So as a pair, if you're doing it in a pair, you've got to be really tuned into each other because the synchro is chest on the floor. That's where you have to synchro in the 2025 workouts. And you've got to be moving as one to be able to not wear each other out. It's and then the rower. So then you've really got to use your quads and the pull to be able to get through those last 50 calories on the rower. But the dual dumbbell thrusters, once you get to the end of that workout and then you come back again, you're then thinking, oh, I've got to do it all over again to get the finish.
That's awesome. So, like, I even look at this Nicola
Gulliver.
Gulliver. Is it
Oh,
Gulliver?
Keeper. Nicola
Gilbert. I was
Geeper.
gonna say there's no L. Okay, 105 for her 5 rep back squat max. That's that's solid.
Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, like that's really impressive. You know.
So it's like I said, though, some of the 50 plus athletes, there isn't a many of them, but the ones that there are
Mhm.
brilliant. They're in, they're doing some really great numbers on every single element.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm jacked to try it. And like I said, there are rumors or anything. They're coming, not to Canada, of course, but eventually maybe we'll talk them into it. But um, so yeah, was there a post out the like hinting for spots in the States? But obviously, we were told not the ones you saw in the video.
Yeah,
A little misleading.
that was a bit misleading. I think they just chose some American landmarks and they were like, guess where? But yeah, we are coming to America. There's potentially going to be 4 venues. We're just waiting for confirmation on some elements and stuff at the moment. It won't be until the second part of the year. That's all I can say. But it's quite good coverage.
That's awesome.
Considering it's only four potential 4 events, it's good coverage.
Well, like, yeah, let us know. I'll be down to go. I'll be down to help, do whatever.
Brilliant.
I really, like I said, I think it's a great event. And if anybody who's watched highlights or whatever, watch some of the people's YouTube content or whatever, you can see that it is really well done. The year Matt went over there
Yep.
and had all the high-end CrossFitters come for exhibition on that one. It was just really well done. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's something that everybody can try. Like you say, it's
Yeah. It really doesn't matter if all you're going to be moving is the barbell with no weights on it. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter
Yep.
because if you're only doing that, you might be brilliant at endurance and they're scored separately. So you pick up points based on your strength element and also strength, endurance, or metabolic conditioning element, whatever you're good at. But also your score is based on who you're competing against as well.
Yeah,
So
like if you come first, you get 1 point. If you come
yeah,
second, you get 2 points, and then low score wins.
yeah.
So like your best possible score is a three kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you go from there. So, I mean, it seems, very simplistic, very fair. Um,
Yeah. I think sorry Dave jumping in. I think one of the things that I get asked the most is how big is Athx going to grow? Well, we can only grow with the size of venue that we have available to us, because everybody's in lanes and 50% of it isn't running around the arena, you can only have the amount of people safely that can go through the whole process in the 2.5 hours. And at the minute we have 40 lanes. So they started it with 20 lanes, then they moved to 40 lanes, they doubled that up, and then they doubled the days up. The
yeah,
only other thing that we can do is add heats on earlier or later. But then the other side of that is that we don't want to be setting people off at 7 o'clock at night and finishing at half past 9. It's not conducive with going
podiums at
back
11
to,
o'clock.
yeah, yeah, just the whole thing of the competition is in that format, so it's a fair test of fitness. So everybody has the same test, then a rest, the same rest periods, then endurance, etc., etc. When people are competing that late in the evening, it doesn't become a fair test anymore.
Yeah. So how many people go through a regular event?
How many people go through a regular event?
Yeah. Like you said, you
Um,
40 lanes. How many people do you think you get through in a day?
so it depends how many heats we have, but it's between 1250 and 1400.
Okay, that's still a great amount.
And it also depends on whether they're doubles or individuals, because, for example, Germany, what we've learned with them is that we need to put for Munich, we're at 92% sold out at the moment for Munich, which is in February.
Mhm.
Um, we've had to add some extra lanes, we've had to add some extra heats in, but we've had to change what we offer to people. So what we would offer in the UK would be X amount of pros, X amount of individuals, X amount of standard, X amount of light. We've had to turn that on its head in Germany because the pro divisions, individual pro, which never, well, it does sell out in the UK, but not as quickly.
Right.
People that can't get into doubles end up separating and going into pro individual. In Germany, we've had to turn it on its head and we've had to add more individual pro to be able to accommodate the demand in Germany.
Good
So
for
it
you,
all,
Germany.
yeah. So it depends. It really does depend. It's going to looking at each region differently. Will depend on how many people we can fit in because if you're doing singles, you've got one less person for every lane.
Yeah. So, but still, it's a good number that can go through. Like
Yeah,
it's not like you're stuck at like, for example, LT games, right? LT games, we've all been watching. We love it. I can't wait to try that one as well. But you're realistically looking at like 200 people a day,
yeah,
the way it's set up, right? So it's more of a it's not as viable as a sole business, right? Whereas this, if you're getting 1,400 people through in a day, and I don't even know what's the price. I'm gonna guess somewhere between like somewhere around 150 pounds, somewhere like that, or
for FX.
yeah.
Yeah, so this year it's £85 plus a booking fee per person. So if it's a doubles, you just double that up. So if you're an individual, it's 85. If you're a doubles, you pay exactly the same. But for the doubles, it's twice the amount.
All right.
Yeah,
So you're looking at probably for here, like, and or in the States, that's probably like, so 85 pounds is probably like $150 or something like that. Would
right.
it's in that neck of the woods, and then Canadian is probably about $200. But that's what High Rocks is. That's what everything is. It's yeah, it all adds up. Yeah, like LT Games, just I believe they were just under $200 for, or just over $200 Canadian for what they are. So yeah, right on par with everybody else, right?
Yeah, I think we have got a slight price increase going into 2026. But then that follows along with the whole everything is about quality with Athx, doing things right all the way through. And every single event we look at what can we do better next time. Only just change a little thing. So going into 2026, all the improvements we've made and the feedback we've listened to this year is obviously going to be shown at each event, but then going into 26 is probably improved quite significantly by London, for example. So the whole athlete experience improves and the value that you're getting back. We've got Fit Score that's introduced next year as well, which means that after every single event, you get an email. Actually, let me show you. I've got one here that I'm supposed to be posting out because they forgot to
There
pick it
you go.
up. So Jake Wood hopefully won't be cross at me. But this is what we call the Fit Score card. So
Okay.
a fit score from 1 to 100 on each different element of the workout. And then that gives you an overall score um, of 1 to 100 of where you sit compared to data that's provided by a company called MVP that look at elite level workouts.
Like
So
your percentage range.
yeah, so
Okay.
this is where Jake is sat at the moment, based on all the bits that he's done over the year in those different movements. And it's the data is from, so for example, the run, which is a Cooper test, is based on a 5K, the fastest 5K time for that age and gender. That
Okay.
would be 100. Yeah, so this is what we're
So
introducing
the
next year.
higher your number, the better.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I think Chandler was 88.
Sorry, 88?
Yeah, which is amazing. Like it's really difficult to get up near 100 because you've got to be elite at everything basically. Yeah, so he got 88.
So it's like a video game where we rank like if you're playing a video game and you have ranked on different aspects and attributes and all of a sudden boom 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 and then this is your final total is your overall score. I like that.
Yeah, and you get that email to you at the end of every event, and you also get the opportunity at the event to get it printed out with your photograph on it as well. So you've got something for the event. But it also means you can then take that card or that email into your affiliate gym and say, or your coach in the gym and say, look, this is where I really need to improve on,
Mhm.
and this is what I want to work on because that's where I fell down at this event. So I need to keep nudging these areas up, but I really need to improve massively in this area to be able to get a better overall fit score. So we're hoping that that eventually will become people's currency of Athx. Oh, what's your fit score?
I like it. I got you. I got you.
So there's
I
quite a few things that are happening.
none of them go to the gym with it. They're just going to hang them on the wall.
Yeah, stick
It's
them on there.
swag. It's cool swag. I like it. It's personalized swag. But that'll be
Yeah,
swag. I would get one for sure.
yeah, it is really good. I think the best thing would be if you'd done say 3 events throughout the year, and then you get to see that level of improvement all the way through, or you can see where you've had a particularly bad day for females or whatever, depending on what time of the month it is, dictates their strength and stuff like that. You can see the impact that it has as well. Try and plan around it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's got another a good little addition to things.
All right. So what are your goals for this year?
My goals or Athlex goals.
Either or, both. One, first one, then the other.
Okay, so I think if we're looking at work wise, and let's look at Athlex, but my role is head of gym affiliates and head of gym partnerships and affiliates. Let me get it right. So my goal is to make sure that right from the beginning, when I wrote the gym affiliate program, when I still work for my zone, I
Mhm.
did that as an extra piece of work before I actually came into the business and took on the role. When I wrote the program, the whole thing was based on research from 200 gyms in the UK that I'd spoken to, that had a conversation with them and said, what does a good affiliate program look like and what don't you like? You can imagine only we know what people are going to say, and but it just proved that what I was thinking was justified.
Yeah.
So we created this program and it is all about quality. So it's not about maximum coverage, it's about finding quality facilities with great coaching, operational excellence, making sure that they meet the criteria, they get a exclusivity boundary as well around them, which protects the revenue generation. Um, so my goals for next year are to hit my targets that I've already forecast within the affiliation program, but also to make sure that those gyms are supported and that they have all the things in place that they need to be able to say, we're happy with this affiliation. That will make me happy.
Mhm.
Um, so that they don't feel that anything was overpromised and underdelivered because that would mean I've missed my goals for next year. Um, to make sure that the gym affiliate members that come to the event have a great experience, that they enjoy it and that they keep coming back. It's all about return customers, isn't it? And it's building the community. So, yeah, for me, on a professional level, that is one of my goals. On a personal level, I need to get on the Athx Games floor with Gail. That has to happen next year. And we've planned 2 events. And then I'm also doing Berlin with Kirsten Bruckner Kirsten does a lot of pie rock. She's pregnant at the moment, and when she comes back from having her baby, she doesn't want to be put under pressure to go and do something that she's always done and feel like she's slower than she was. You know what it's like. So it's a case of let's do something new, Kirsten. Me and your partner, you've got an excuse to go slow then because you're with me.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll have a good time and have some fun at the same time. So Berlin was brilliant this year. So I'm expecting Berlin to be exactly the same next year and can't wait to do it with Kirsten.
That's awesome. All right. Well, hopefully you get here soon. When do you think they will be? Any idea of when you think they'll be releasing the locations and dates?
I think it will be the week commencing the 5th of January in the new year when we all come back from the new year. There's a big announcement yesterday. I don't know if you saw it about Athx Air.
Yes.
Um, so that was on Instagram yesterday. It was fully confirmed. So Athx Air is a chartered flight from Birmingham to Paris for the Paris event, which everybody can buy a ticket for and have gifting from Adidas and Athx. And um, I'll be on the plane with them looking after them. So that's not a reason to buy the ticket, but it also includes your Athx ticket in Paris as well. So, and then at the end of it, there's a transfer to the Athx hotel. And so that was announced yesterday. That was a big announcement that we teased a few weeks ago. And then moving into the new year, I think that's when we'll see when America's confirmed, those locations are confirmed.
All right.
And
So keep your calendars open.
yeah,
You ready for add one more? Um, Events. You know what? The whole industry's grown a lot, and I love that we're having more to do. And
yeah,
I mean, to me, the whole point of kind of being in this kind of fitness or whatever, the hybrid fitness, and even I roll my eyes when I say that now, and I'm part of the problem. Um, it's just to be able to do so many different things, and
yeah,
I think it's fun. Like I think your event, like Athx, Deca, High Rocks, Deadly Dozen, all of these things actually make each other better. Because if all we had was the one to do and it was the same all the time, it would get boring. But because we have all these different ones, and that's one thing CrossFit has, right? Where it's like we're different every time, but almost in my mind, to a fault. But having different options, is the whole rising tide raises all boats. And I think it's just better. The more we have to do, the less fatigue we will get. And
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I love Deca. You know
yeah,
how much I love Deca. I've yet to try Deca Atlas, but I'm guessing at the World Champs you met quite a few of the caveman training guys
I think so.
when
Yeah.
you were there, Ben and John and
Mhm.
people caveman training. So that's where I would be doing Deca Atlas. So I really need to get over there and do a Deca Atlas. I'm looking forward
Atlas
to
is
that.
my favorite one. I know, I
Yeah.
know, I know. I just did the ruck thing and everything, and I really liked it. But I really like the Atlas. Um, for me, it's just more my cup of tea. It suits me better, but I love it. It's great fun. And I had a big hand in developing it, so that kind of puts it close to the heart. But you're gonna enjoy it. It's quick, but it hits hard.
I've judged it, Dave.
Okay.
I've judged it,
Okay.
yeah, and I've seen the pain in people's faces. I've felt it with them. Yeah, so
The shoulder to overheads, when people get there, that just wipes most people out. All of a sudden, those weights become real heavy.
yeah, and that's what it was like in the 10 rep max strict press.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Same kind of idea, yeah.
Dave, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
When we come to America, who would you really, a male and a female, who would you really like to see doing athletics?
Oh, not celebrity, but like a
Yeah, or not even, doesn't even have to be like a well-known person, but somebody that you think would do exceptionally well at Athx in either in the doubles or in the individual, like from a pro perspective,
all
who
right.
would you
Well,
want to
I'll
see?
I'll I'll knock on. I'll throw down some Canadian names even too. So people that I would like. I mean, and then I will talk about this as a first one that comes to mind as a mixed pair because they are engaged. Is Chris Rogowski and Austin Nazar.
Yeah,
That
I'd like to see that.
that would be a good fun one. Austin is exceptionally strong, and Chris is deceptively strong. Like you don't look at Chris and think she's a powerhouse, but she's deceptively strong. That would be a great one. Um, I mean, it kind of. I mean, if we went High Rocks route too, I mean, a Lauren Weeks, Meg Jacoby team up would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be a good team up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Strong and fast.
All right, and I'll throw another Canadian men's team here. Jeffrey Adler and Pat Vellner.
So yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Pat Vellner, I mean Jeffrey Adler, I do like watching him, but Pat Vellner is like the entertainer, isn't he? And he's just
Uncle Pat.
so yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's
I
great.
love watching him.
So yeah, those would be some good ones. I would, yeah, and then I think like some other weird ones, uh, I would love to see. So, I mean, one guy I've watched, and this is another personal one. He does a lot of high rocks now, and he's Indy 500 winner is Joseph Newgarden.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Sorry, Dave, my dog's just coming in
Oh,
through
that's
the
okay.
door.
Yeah, he's won I think the Indy 500. Have you heard of the Indy 500?
Yeah, but
Okay,
I don't
he's won that
follow
I
it.
think twice in IndyCar, and he
Right.
does a lot of high rocks, and he's running like a 105, 106. Like he's fast. He's good. He's legit. I'd like to see someone like him give it a try.
Yeah. And I think there's probably quite a few people that are sat in the the good levels within high rocks, but they're not going to get any faster at the running. You know, after the running's just got so fast, but they're strong, so their strength is in the strength element of
Mm.
it. So they're not going to maybe because Hunter is an anomaly, isn't he? For his
Yeah, yeah.
size, such a great runner and so fast. Whereas there's a lot of people out there that are never going to get any faster at the running. They've reached their capacity, but the strength is there. They for me are the people that would be perfect for Athx.
Emily Rolfe
Yes, yeah,
would
she
be
would be
such a
amazing.
phenomenal runner. Miriam von Rohr, not North America. Has she got under one yet? Because I think.
Um, she she hasn't, but obviously she's an Adidas athlete.
Mhm.
So, and our main partner is Adidas. So, at some point, I'm hoping to see her do an Athx. It would be incredible.
I think she's in for like an even bigger year this year. Like
Yeah,
I think she may be a top five CrossFit Games athlete this year.
yeah,
She's just
she is amazing.
so
Um,
unreal. But yeah, so yeah, those are some of the ones I'd like to see. Yeah, who's on your list other than that? Like, you guys looking for someone special or some headliners?
no, not really. Not is it? I think from my personal point of view. I would really like to see Hunter do it. I'd like to see him do Athx just because um, he is so strong and so well rounded. He had his CrossFit Games appearance, didn't he? You know, for a little while. He's kind of proven that he does the mixed modality stuff. He's
Oh,
very strong at it.
would be
I
fantastic.
think he'd be really, really good. Um, Pat Vellner is on my list. Um, I would love to see Brooke Wells do it.
Mhm.
Um, I think she'd be really good, you know, because of her track background as well. Like she's strong, and then that endurance section, she's just gonna fly in
Yeah.
the endurance section. Um,
Emma Lawson.
Haley
Oh,
Adams would be my ultimate. Haley Adams. Haley Adams.
okay. See for me, Emma Lawson. Emma
Yeah.
Lawson can run.
Well, she actually did. So at FitFest, where Matt came
Okay, so
over the
she's
first
that one.
year, Emily was one of those the CrossFit athletes that was over as a showcase. So they competed and did the showcase stuff with Strength in Depth, which was in the same event as Athx Finals. So on the Friday night, they did the endurance workout, and she did exceptionally well. She was with her. What's the name of her partner, Dave?
Jeff
Jack.
Barlow,
Yeah, they competed together.
powerful dude.
Incredible to watch. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's a powerful guy. So,
it was really good. Yeah, there's quite a few, but then there's also people that I would like to see from, you know, from back in the day, OCR wise, competing in some of the age group stuff because there's people from there that would like Spartan. I mean, I do think not age group wise, but Ryan Atkins would be really good at this as well. Like he'd be a great Athlex competitor
oh
because it
yeah.
would suit him better than just having a load of running. Don't think he'd want to be indoors though, would he? Um,
Yeah. He did do one high rocks. And
It didn't return though.
he was doing very well into the wall balls, and then he just all the wheels fell off.
Yeah, I do think he would be really good. And having watched him in Spartan Games for on few occasions, he's so strong, isn't he? Um,
His ability to adapt is incredible. So he learns very fast.
yeah,
So even if it's a foreign thing to him, he learns it quick.
he
And he's
would be
got
good.
two kids now, though. I don't know. Slow him down. He's gonna be in the age group.
After watching Lindsay in Spartan Games, I think she could also be very good at Athx because she could train those lifting movements very easily. And with some training, you can get the numbers up to a level that your endurance and your metabolic conditioning can help bring you back up. So yeah, there's so many people, Dave. I just get overexcited about the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that a lot. I it's again, it's new ground, and new ground is always exciting. So,
Yeah,
but
really
I've kept
exciting.
you, I've kept you long enough. I'm gonna let you go. Anything else that you want to say to anybody else about Athx or where to sign up or where to find you guys?
Just follow at athx_games on Instagram. Every bit of information that gets released is on there. It will all be on the Instagram. It's the platform that we use the most. But just in general, thank you for having me, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas.
All right, everybody. Take care.